for him. The the where I lost, he helped me. You know, like he good at redstone. What else? After he slammed the door, that's just funny. You saw the door, his ass. The issue that old dude just said. Oh, yeah. Bro, I like this texture pack, bro. Shit, clean. Did you buy the cocaine or no? No, you gotta go inside of the business. What happened, Ravi? I'm sorry, bro. I'm talking to my girl. Hey, it's worth it though if you have it. If you have like the Central K, it's worth to get it. Like it's good to get it if you have it. You know the money. Oh, this place. I gotta get out of this damn bush forest. I don't like this place. Okay. Damn. They really put me in a fucking. Look this way. Oh, bro, the hunger is so cool, bro. The hunger is like. Oh, that's cool. Okay. I'm gonna make myself a bowl. That's iron right there. Yeah, that's good. What's up? What's up, King J? I'm looking for a spot to build. Shit. What happened? Oh yeah, you could buy it. It's like, but you buy it, it fill up like 3 bars. That's good. Hell yeah. 12 weeks. Yay. He'll be a boy. Yeah. That's good, baby. Hey, when you're doing, you might have to kind of go for it, but I'm gonna just give you the coordinates, okay? Try to look for, yeah, cause I'm trying to look for a good spot. I ain't gonna lie to you. I think I found it. Okay, baby, I understand. I love you. Bye. What happened? Yeah, my bad. Yeah, I'm sorry. My bad. I was on the phone with my girl. Let her go. But yeah, Minecraft. Yeah. Yeah, I found the spot already. If you want, I kind of found a spot. I think. I don't know. I'm still looking. I'm looking for a good spot, you know, to build. You know, 'cause, like, yeah, that too. Like, if I have to, if I gotta go far, I don't care. You know, I'm live on YouTube. I got a second viewer right now. His name is King J. He been watching me for like a good minute now. Like, you know, more people. You know, watch. I'm trying. I'm in my game, Minecraft. We good. Hell yeah. Cause for me, like for me, so tomorrow I'm gonna be on, but like I gotta go babysit my dogs, cause they're going to the Dells, Wisconsin Dells, my whole family. So I'm gonna stay behind and watch the dogs, you know. I'm gonna find a dog. I find a dark oak forest. Dark oak. I'm gonna turn my comments on because I want to see what people are saying. I could put it like that. What's up, King? How you doing, bro? How you doing today, bro? I haven't found college yet. I'm gonna lie to you. Hey, you ever play? This is one texture pack. It's like a scary mod. It's like a it's like a modern one, whatever. It's like a texture pack, but like it's like a boss. Like he's spawning. He yeah. He's only like he's spawning in a cave. I kind of want to buy it, you know? 'Kay. Yeah. There's a thing on it. Like it's something like that. It's something like that, but like it's like the guy looks fucking scarier for me. Like I don't know, you know, it's not the same. This is you know, if that makes sense. Like it's like a tall guy, but it's like a different one. Oh shit, the meat look different. I need some sticks. Not a bed. Yeah. And or something else too. This is a hard mode too, so I'll let you know. So like, I want to put myself through that, like you know. Yeah. Like the Ender Dragon gonna be harder to kill. Like I can't. I'm not gonna. I need to have good diamond armor to fight, dude. I'm not having no shitty armor to fight the Ender Dragon. I'm on hard mode. That shit, it's hard as hell. Um, Bro, I can't find a spot, bro. I'm gonna lie to you. Or I think I might have. I look flat enough over there. I look really flat. Hey, what's it called? Like, I'm gonna put like, what's it called? Like, I listen to like, true, like I don't know, like I listen to horror story on YouTube, like them, like the commentary, whatever they call. I put that shit in the background and I play Minecraft for hours. Dead ass, bro. Like I be zoned the fuck out. Like I'm like when I was zoned out, bro. Like I build like I don't know, like I get better than Minecraft sometimes. I got my builds. Cause it make you. I don't know.
My dad left my mom and me. He went to live with his buddy far from where we were. This all happened when I was 17, and now at 24, I still don't know why he left us. After he left, things got tough. My mom lost her job because my dad took our only car.
I found a good spot, bro.
We had to move into a small motel far from our original town. Despite moving, I continued attending my old school.
No, you good.
They sent a bus or van to take me to school and back every day. A few months into living at the motel, I made a new friend at school, Mike. He was nice and we got along great. In the middle of the school year, it turned out my dad was in trouble for not paying child support for my siblings. He hadn't paid because he said he had no money. Eventually, the police caught him. He spent 3 months in jail close to the motel where Mom and I were staying. After he got out, he came to stay with us again. As the school year was ending, my dad told me we got an apartment back in my school town. I was really excited. Things were okay for a while. Mike and I wanted to hang out after school, which was new for me. I usually didn't do that because I could miss my ride back to the motel, leaving me stranded. Mike was pretty much my only friend, so I agreed to hang out. We planned to leave our stuff at my new apartment and then go out. While walking home, Mike mentioned
he used to live on the street. I was gonna lie.
He even said he lived in my exact apartment before. I found that interesting.
Cool.
Mike and I started spending a lot of time together.
I'd be like, damn, part A, I haven't fucked yet, like, damn.
But I had just broken up with my boyfriend, and I found out I was pregnant. Now, 18 and expecting, I told Mike I wasn't ready for a new relationship. He seemed okay with just being friends. But after that, whenever we hung out, he kept trying to make moves on me. But Mike's actions were subtle, not forceful. He would often praise me, calling me beautiful and saying my ex was foolish to let me go. He'd try to hold my hand or wrap his arm around me. Each time I told him firmly to stop, that I wasn't comfortable with his advances. He'd apologize and then, for a few days, he'd keep his distance. Things were okay for a while.
You gotta add me.
Mike seemed to respect my boundaries.
What's your name?
However,
what's your name on it?
One rainy day changed everything. We were at my place, watching videos online. When I began feeling sharp
when
pains
you play
in my
Minecraft,
stomach,
you gotta add
I lay
like the
down
person.
to ease the discomfort, and Mike stayed by my side. But then, the pain intensified, and as I curled up, Mike got too close, wrapping his arm around me in a way that was too much. When he tried to kiss me, I panicked, pushed him away, and demanded he leave immediately.
Damn.
I have PTSD, and unexpected touches trigger me, a fact Mike knew well. After kicking him out, I secured every door and cut all ties with him.
Damn.
For a while, things seemed to get better. My ex initially didn't believe I was pregnant and accused me of lying. It wasn't until I sent him an ultrasound image through a friend that he realized the truth and started to support me, attending appointments and seeking a job. Despite his offer to reconcile, I insisted on keeping our relationship strictly about co-parenting. I confided in my ex about the incident with Mike, which angered him. They ended up fighting in the school auditorium, resulting in both getting suspended. My ex proved to be a poor fighter. Then, tragedy struck. I had a miscarriage. I had to take some time off school, during which rumors spread. My ex began claiming again that I had lied about the pregnancy, despite evidence to the contrary. This led to widespread bullying from my schoolmates, who sent me hateful messages, blaming and shaming me. Life became very hard for me. Mike had seriously hurt my ex because of all the trouble between us. He had to be taken to the hospital because of how bad it was. I was full of fear, not understanding why Mike did that. Then one night, something terrifying happened. I woke up hearing noises in my room. When I turned on the light, I saw Mike sitting in a chair, looking at me. I was alone in the house and very scared. I demanded to know why he was in my place and how he got inside. He explained he came through the back door, which was easy for him to unlock. I need to explain my house setup a bit. I live on the second floor, and there's a back porch leading to stairs and another door into the house. My parents never thought we needed a lock on the upper door.
Okay.
I was panicking, telling him he must leave. I yelled at him for all the trouble he was causing me, and I started crying.
Yeah, you gotta do that.
Mike tried to come closer, wanting to comfort me, but when I pushed him away, he got mad and took out a knife. Now I was truly terrified.
Nigga crazy.
He
You
yelled
hear
about
this
how
shit?
he only wanted to love and support me,
That's crazy.
but I was always pushing him away. He sounded completely lost in his obsession. I tried to calm him down, speaking softly, hoping to make him put the knife away.
The thing is too, I had an
I
eye
was
on for
paying
him too,
attention
bro.
as I spoke, trying to calm him down. I slowly moved so that I was closer to the door and he was further away. But he quickly realized what I was doing. He grabbed me tightly and said, "You're not leaving. Don't even think about it." Now he was very angry, ranting about how I failed to see his worth and that if he couldn't have me, nobody could. He began to lose control, mumbling wildly to himself. In a moment of distraction for him, I grabbed something nearby and hit him with it, trying to defend myself.
Yeah, fucking ass, bro.
Surprisingly, he barely reacted to the blows and lunged at me with the knife. I dodged, but not completely. I ended up with a painful cut on my side. Distracted by the pain, I didn't see his next move coming. He kicked me so hard in the back that I was sent flying and left gasping for air on the floor, fearing for my life. As he slowly approached me, threatening further harm, suddenly the door was kicked in by a police officer who tackled him to the ground. Another officer rushed in, picked me up, and carried me out to the street, while several more officers stormed into my room. At the hospital, I was treated for my injuries. I later learned that Mike was high on MDMA, which explained his resistance. It took 7 officers and 4 taser shots to subdue him. I was thankful for my neighbor, who heard the commotion and called the police. Though I wish the police had acted faster instead of knocking on the front door as if waiting for a polite response. Despite the officer's slow reaction, Mike, being only 17 at the time, did not go to jail. He received 5 years of probation and 6 months of community service. His family moved away afterward, and I haven't seen him since, thankfully. The physical scars healed well. The worst was a large bruise covering most of my back and the cut, which wasn't too deep. Thankfully, he hadn't caused any serious damage. I'm doing okay now, but it was an experience that left deep mental scars. So to the guy who became dangerously obsessed with me, let's never meet again. You truly terrified me. My dad has a business where he cuts down trees and gets rid of them. He started this business when I was just a little kid. When I was 5, we moved to a big house with a lot of land, so my dad could keep his big trucks there, use machines to cut the wood, and make firewood. My brother and I, we loved to play around there. Our house was at the end of a long road, and if you kept going past our house, there was a garage with a small home next to it. Around that time, a couple that knew my parents lived in that small home, not too far from us, maybe about 50 steps away. Let's jump to when I was 10 and my brother was 13. It's important to say that the people my dad hired for work were not the best folks. Some had bad pasts with stealing or drugs, and many people worked for a bit and then left. The job was tough, especially in the hot summer, and then there was no work when it got cold. At one point, my dad hired 2 brothers who were a bit older than me. One was really handsome, and the other one seemed a bit weird to me and wore glasses. As a 10-year-old, I didn't really care much about them. I just wanted to play on the woodpiles at home. I remember one day in the fall, it was after school, and my mom said it was too cold to play outside. I remember that day really well. I can even recall what I was wearing, and that I wanted my favorite toy close by as I drew pictures. So I'm drawing, and it's around 4:30 p.m. My dad and his workers had just come back and were probably in the garage, maybe smoking and drinking. That was something they did after working all day. My mom was reading something next to me. My brother was a bit
Tell me
away at his
about it. That
friend's
shit
house.
take a while for me too.
Suddenly, my dad burst through the back door, yelling, "Get out of the house! Take her and go now! Run to the neighbors!" He was shouting all this at my mom. We were scared and confused, but my mom got up quickly, and so did I. I was glad my toy was with me. We grabbed it and ran out the front door to our neighbor's place. It was cold, and we didn't have shoes on. We ran up our long
The
road,
chicken.
and I thought my dad was right behind us, but he stopped at the end, talking on the phone loudly to someone. We reached our neighbor's place, where my brother was, just as police cars zoomed past our house. We were all so confused. It turns out those brothers my dad hired were hiding a big secret. The one that seemed weird, with glasses, was very sick in his mind and wasn't taking his medicine. That evening,
I don't see
something
you, man.
terrible happened that none of us saw coming. The
Did you
man's
add me
brother and
back?
family felt too ashamed to talk about his mental illness, and it turned out smoking and drinking made things worse for him. That day, after finishing work, while everyone relaxed with a smoke and a
That's right. I
drink,
got you added.
nobody noticed when the man went to his car,
Like,
took out a rifle, and
okay,
started
so
shooting
go.
everywhere.
Okay, so
He shot at the wood piles, where I
shit.
could have been playing, and into the garage where my dad's workers were. He even shot at the cars, leaving them full of bullet holes.
This
Workers
is my
panicked and
gamer
ran to the
tag.
small home next to the garage where that couple lived, trying to find a safe place. Then my dad ran as fast as he could back to our house to get my mom and me to safety. Meanwhile, a brave friend of my
Let me know I
dad's,
can
who
invite you.
lived in that small home, grabbed his own hunting rifle and went towards the garage. He saw the shooter trying to escape in his car
Or
with the gun.
is they
My
join
dad's
or
friend managed to break the car window, grabbed the gun from the
I
shooter's
gotta
hands,
invite you.
but the shooter drove away fast down our road. It's a relief that my mom and I weren't on that road when he sped off. The police caught him very quickly, not far from where we were hiding. He was arrested, and my parents decided not to press charges because, thankfully, no one was hurt. They were more upset about the fact that this could have been prevented if only someone had spoken up about the man's mental condition. My dad usually doesn't check the background of the people he hires. He just needs the help and pays whoever's willing to work. And there's another thing I found out much later. The day before all this happened, my brother had an odd run-in with the shooter at a gas station. He was there with our neighbor and their family, the same people we ended up hiding with. The man offered them a ride home, which was just a short drive away. They found it strange that he was wearing black nail polish and had his hood up, which was unusual for him, but they didn't think much of it at the time. Now we wonder if it had something to do with him not taking his meds, or if it was just a coincidence. I'm 25 now, and I can still remember that day as if it was yesterday. I hope I never have to hear my dad's voice filled with such fear ever again. Whoever lands it doesn't have to wash dishes. Oh, let's go! Yeah! It was terrifying, and it's strange that we didn't recognize the gunshots for what they were. My mom thinks it's because we live near a gun
Hey, I'm gonna
range
give you
and
the
got used
coordinates.
to
Okay,
the
is it
sound,
nighttime?
but who really knows?
Is it nighttime?
A few months back,
Hold on.
something scary happened
Okay,
to me.
let me give you
I'm
the
a big
coordinates.
fan
Hold
of
on a minute.
Facebook. I enjoy sharing funny
I
pictures,
gotta
chatting
go back
with new
up to the
folks,
surface, okay?
and diving into long discussions. I'm careful not to share personal
What do you think about
details
the
like
texture
where I
pack?
work or live, and my birthday is a secret.
What do you think about the
I've made a
texture
bunch
pack?
of online buddies through shared opinions or interesting talks.
Like
So when Alex sent me a
no,
message
the
after
texture
a long
pack.
chat on a mutual friend's post, I wasn't
Yeah,
surprised. Our chat began with simple stuff, talking about the post and asking how each
Yes,
other
you
were
are.
doing.
I'm gonna give you the coordinates. Hold on.
I was happy to make a new friend.
I gotta let me write
Alex
down the
seemed
coordinates,
cool,
okay?
and we shared a lot of interests.
Wait 1 second.
I'm no model, but I mentioned during our chat that I'm already with someone and looking forward to getting married next year. Alex seemed a bit sad but respectful, which was good.
Give me 1
I said
second.
goodnight and didn't think much of it. But our talks went on, and Alex started acting needy, especially if I didn't reply fast. I explained I'm often busy and can't always respond right away.
Okay, I'm gonna type it right now.
He
Hold on.
said sorry, claiming he was just feeling bored and alone. I felt bad for him being lonely and tried not to cut him off completely, even though he was being a bit too much. Then, out of nowhere, Alex messaged saying he wished he could hold me. I shut that down quickly, reminding him I'm committed to someone else and wouldn't tolerate such talk. I'm very loyal to my partner.
That's the
Alex got angry,
that's the
sending
coordinates.
messages that he didn't care about my partner and even threatened him. I I stopped replying and set his
Yeah.
messages to be ignored.
If you
They
want
wouldn't
to
show up
start
in my
getting,
main
if you
inbox
want
anymore.
to kill some
After
sheets on the
sharing this
way, so you
incident
can make yourself a
online,
bed.
a friend commented that Alex had harassed her too, even showing up at her
So
house.
like, it's about to be
I was
nighttime.
terrified and checked if there were more messages from him, especially since she warned he could be dangerous and suggested contacting the police if he made threats. That's when things turned really bad. Alex had left me a bunch of messages. They started with him mocking me for not replying, then ranting about some driver who annoyed him, and finally, he threatened to harm the driver, blaming me for making him so angry by ignoring him. I sent Alex a message, telling him to stop bothering me, and then I tried to ignore him for a while. But then, he began to guess where I lived, which really scared me. I never told him where I lived, or anything close to that. The only thing I ever mentioned was that I was going to Arby's for food, and my phone was about to die. Somehow, he figured out I was 7 minutes away from the Arby's near my house, which is exactly
I'm
how long
telling
it
you,
takes
bro,
me
the
to walk
creepers
there.
out here is
And in
deadly.
my city, there are many Arby's. Then, he started guessing my street, and even knew about a black 4-door sedan at my address, which belonged to my sister, who used it for Uber. That's when I decided to call the police. But the police couldn't do much. They said unless he actually showed up or did something, they couldn't act. It didn't matter that he was sending me pictures of dead people and threatening me and my family, getting closer to finding my address.
No, it's
So
in,
all
it's
I
in
had to do
chat.
was get a protective order, which I did. Alex kept messaging me, saying nothing would stop him
It's the
until he was
same one.
officially
It's
served
not
with the
different.
protective order,
That's like
which is sadly true.
trait to me.
My fiance, who works in IT, and his cousin, who knows a lot about tech, managed to find some of Alex's old addresses, but the police couldn't find him. He had all his details like car license numbers, address, full name, and birthday, but Alex was nowhere to be found. He stopped messaging for a bit, but on the day I was going to court to extend the protective order for 2 years, he started again. My fiance pressed charges for the threats. Alex said someone could come and shoot me in 15 minutes, and his last known address was 15 minutes from my house. I was beyond scared. The past few months have been full of fear. Alex was finally arrested
the
and
mobs
served,
on here look
revealing
crazy,
he had a
bro.
history of
Like the
similar
skeletons
behavior.
look crazy,
He
and the
faced many
zombies.
charges before, but they were all dropped or reduced because they couldn't prove he was the one behind the threats. He continued his harassment until the court date, despite me never having seen him in person before then. Even though I had friends who had received messages from him and had seen him, the charges were reduced to a minor offense with the condition of good behavior, as they couldn't prove it was him on the computer. I can't sleep well anymore. Every little sound wakes me up, scared. It's been a living
The creepers
nightmare
look
for me and
cool.
my family, but I'm trying to stay strong, believing things will eventually get better.
Actually, I got an idea. If I can get this shit quick.
I live in a big city, not too far from the busy parts, and I always try to keep an eye out for any danger around me. I've seen a lot of scary stuff, and it's made me very cautious.
Oh, he got a flame, bro. What? He got a flame arrow, bro. The skeleton got he got a fucking enchanted flame arrow. If that makes sense.
In winter, I hide it under my clothes or in my boot, but in summer, I tie it to my arm or waist, which isn't very comfortable. It was a rainy night, and I was wearing a big old-fashioned windbreaker I'd found at a second-hand shop. My knife was in my purse that evening.
Fuck.
The summer air was hot and
This
sticky,
shit, bro. What the hell, bro?
something around my arm even less appealing. I took the metro
Come
home,
on.
but the
Nowhere,
driver said
bro.
the train would stop working at the station before mine. My friend lives close to that stop, so I sent him a message to see if he wanted to hang out. He told me he'd be on his balcony and to just call up to him when I got there. On the train, I usually listen to music, read, crochet, or just look out the window. But I also keep an eye out for anything suspicious. Sometimes people get robbed on the metro, so if I see groups of teenagers or someone walking around too much, I get ready to protect myself. The train was pretty full, but nothing seemed strange until I saw a man sitting across from me who looked out of place. In the city, you see people from all over, so it's rare for someone to really stand out. But this man made me feel uneasy. He was thin, with messy dark hair, and he looked like he could be from Eastern Europe. He was wearing a tight purple shirt and tight pants, talking on one phone and looking at another in his lap. I can speak Russian and a bit of Spanish, and I can understand similar languages well enough. I heard him speaking Italian, talking about a small woman with brown hair and a jacket. He kept saying Sola over and over, which really caught my attention. Hearing Sola made me really scared. My heart beat faster every time he...
I'm gonna go mining, okay? What? Who, me?
glanced at me. At best,
Yeah,
he was
I
just a
got
creepy
a
guy
little bit
talking about me
tools,
to someone
full,
else.
like food and
I've
stuff.
learned
When you
not to
get here,
hope for
yeah.
the best in situations like this. I
I got a
quickly
couple
put my
stuff
bag in my
you could
lap
use.
and secretly tied the
I
knife
got
to my
stuff
arm
full
under
all
my
that
wide jacket
when you get here.
sleeve, just in case.
That's why I'm waiting for you. Like
I tried to
I
message
was
my friend, asking him
shit.
to meet me at the station so I wouldn't have to walk
Okay, it
alone.
is right
But the
D-pad.
signal on the train was weak, and I didn't see that my message
Right
didn't
D-pad,
send.
if that makes sense.
When the train stopped at my station,
No, it's
I
not. It's
waited
not.
until
You
the
know
last
the
moment
little
to
side
leave,
buttons.
hoping he wouldn't
Yeah.
follow me. But as the doors were closing, he squeezed through, skinny as he was. I walked faster, trying to blend into the crowd and reach the exit. After paying my fare, I hurried toward my friend's place, trying not to run too fast and stand out. I looked back and saw no one, but I couldn't let my guard down until I reached safety. Near my friend's building, there's a guy who always plays loud 80s music and works out on his porch in the evenings. I hoped he'd be there so I could take a moment to rest and call my friend. But when I passed his house, he wasn't there. Then I heard footsteps behind me. I turned and saw the man in the purple shirt was catching up to me. I started to run, but in my panic, I didn't see a car stopped ahead with its door open. The man grabbed me around the waist with surprising strength. In a desperate move, I pulled out my knife and stabbed wildly, trying to break free. I heard the sound of fabric tearing. The knife had snagged on his shirt. With him still holding on, I took the chance to aim more carefully this time. I pushed the knife under his shirt and used all my strength. It was the first time I felt truly powerless. I couldn't scream or even make a noise. It was as if I was silent.
The zombie's holding a piece of
How
brick.
badly I hurt, and I don't really care. He let go of me
No,
for a
a
moment,
stone. My bad,
and I ran
stone.
across the street, nearly hit by a car,
My
towards my friend's
axe
apartment.
just broke.
I saw a police car parked near my friend's place, and suddenly felt very scared. Back then, and probably even now, I thought the police would be more concerned about me carrying a knife than the fact I was nearly taken away. My friend let me into the building, and I rushed to his bathroom without a word. I cleaned my knife and the cuts from the fight. Looking in the mirror, I decided not to tell my friend what had happened. I joined him on his balcony, acting as if everything was normal, laughing and hanging out. I'm not sure if I was in shock or just used to city life, but sometimes I still realize how serious that situation was. I hope sharing this story helps me process it. To the guy in the purple shirt, I'm not sorry I stabbed you. I hope we never meet again. I don't know if you guys recall, but in 2018, there was this freaky thing going on with people dressing up as scary clowns.
Oh yeah.
They'd show up in dark places or
Scary
follow
clowns.
folks around.
That shit was
My
crazy.
tale kicks off at my university during
That
autumn
shit
that
happened
year.
in my school. I'm gonna
Before
lie.
I moved for college, I lived with my grandma and grandpa, and we were super tight.
The
Also,
killer clowns
I was pretty shy.
back then.
Didn't have any buddies or
That
people to hang
shit,
with
my
at
school.
uni.
That shit happened.
I
That
was
shit was
keen on making
lockdown.
some friends, so I decided to join a club for salsa
I
dancing
guess,
that met every Friday
yeah,
night.
that ass, bro. Cause
I shared
everything
this
I
with
love
my
on,
grandma
bro.
over a
Them the
call,
black
and
girls.
she sounded glad I was trying
You
to
know
be
how
more
they are.
outgoing.
You know they're loud
She
as a
wondered if I
bitch,
was
and they
going
saw
with
it.
anyone.
You know, and
Just
they
me,
recorded
I
it. You
said.
know,
It's okay, really.
and they just
She
showed the
seemed worried.
principal. That shit
None
was
of your
lockdown.
roommates want to join you? The thought of chatting up my roommates was scary.
The guy
I
was
could
there,
manage official
but
events,
that nigga was
but
long gone.
casual
You know.
chats were a whole different ballgame. They're busy, I lied. I'll be fine walking alone at night. Don't worry too much. Promise me you'll call and talk to me on your way back if you're alone, she insisted. I agreed. That night turned out to be a blast, with me getting the hang of salsa moves and grooving to lively music. When it hit 10:30,
Bro, I like this
decided to
texture
head back
pack,
to my
bro.
dorm,
I fuck with
so
it,
I
bro.
left quietly and started walking. Even though the streets had lights, everything seemed way darker than normal. Plus, the campus was empty. Usually, there'd be other students out and about, but not that night. It was just me. I called my grandma to keep me company as I walked, heels in hand. As I walked, I reached a part where another path crossed mine. Under a streetlight some distance away, I saw someone... pack turned to me. Talking on the phone must have caught his attention because he slowly turned my way. He was big and tall, with crazy red hair, and wore what looked like light blue pajamas. But his face was hidden behind a clown mask. The mask was pure white, with deep black around the eyes and a creepy wide smile. Everything felt like it slowed down. The clown just stood there watching me. I had to quickly decide what to do. I could either scream and run, confront him, or act like he didn't scare me at all. The whole scene I just talked about seemed like forever, even though it was probably just a few seconds. "Are you still there?" My grandma's voice came through the phone. Trying to keep calm, I quickly decided to act like I wasn't scared. I looked away from the clown and spoke louder, hoping the clown would hear, "Yep, heading back now." Then I heard my grandma sounding worried. "What's happening? You sound strange."
Yeah,
Pretending
you're
everything
gonna
was
have
normal,
to.
I walked by the sidewalk near where the clown stood, still talking. As I passed him, his head turned, following me until I was no longer in his view. I quickly found a building, tried the door, and thank goodness it was open. Inside, I leaned against the wall and started crying. I told my grandma about the clown, and she got my grandpa to call the campus police while I stayed on the line with her. Walking around inside, I checked every possible entry, worried the clown might be after me. What if he was dangerous? Some of those clowns in the news had weapons. I didn't know if this one was armed. When my grandpa spoke to the police, they said I needed to call them myself to confirm it wasn't a prank. They wouldn't take action just on my grandparents' word. So, scared but determined, I told my grandma I loved her, hung up, called the campus police myself. I explained who I
Damn,
was,
this is a
what had
big ass
happened, and
cave.
described the clown.
Oh, this shit
Mid-conversation, a door
I'm not
opened.
going
I
down there
stopped,
yet, cause
terrified
that
it might be
shit's
the clown,
dangerous.
but it was
Need
the
more
police.
armor.
They escorted me back to my dorm safely. Once inside, I secured everything and called my grandma back to tell her I was safe. We talked a bit more before saying goodnight. Now I have some friends and feel a bit better at school, but I never go out alone at night anymore. And that clown, I never saw him again, and I hope it stays that way. Many years ago, when I was just a child, something scary happened. In my country, we often live in big buildings filled with lots of small apartments. This means you're always close to your neighbors, and everyone knows each other. Our home was like a small
What block
concrete
is
box,
this?
protected by two doors. The first
Oh,
door was
diorite.
metal,
Okay,
and
I
the second
like
was
this,
wood.
bro. The texture
This
pack
setup was
looks so
pretty common
nice,
where
bro.
I lived,
Bro,
even
I'm
though
a
it wasn't
build.
very secure.
I don't know about you. I like building
One
a
night I
lot, bro.
needed to use the bathroom, which was near our front door.
So like
To
the
get
blocks
there,
on here, bro,
I
is
had
like
to walk through the
we got
living
good.
room
We
where my
got good
parents were
like
asleep.
blocks.
I wasn't allowed to turn
Shit.
on any lights to avoid waking them up,
Turn.
so I had to move in complete darkness, which really scared me as a kid. As I reached the bathroom, I froze. There was a man standing at the end of the hallway close to our door. I couldn't
Let me
move,
make some
just
iron
stared at him,
pans.
and I felt he was staring right back.
I can
He
make
was
a
very
bucket.
tall and dressed in black. I couldn't make out any details, except for his eyes, which seemed to be fixed on me. He
Is
didn't
it
make a
nighttime
sound.
or day?
I was sure he wasn't one of our neighbors because I had never seen anyone that tall around. I took a step back but
Yeah.
kept my eyes on him. Then I ran to the
Is
living
it
room to
nighttime?
wake my dad. At first, my dad didn't believe there was
No,
a man in
is
our
it dark
hallway,
outside or no?
but I
Nighttime?
was so insistent that
Night?
he had to check.
No? Okay.
He finally agreed to go see for himself and to either make the man leave or call the police. My dad confronted the man, asking him what he was doing in our place. He then pushed him out of our apartment, although the man didn't resist much. After making sure the doors were locked, my dad told me to go back to bed. To this day, I don't understand who that man was or what he wanted. He didn't act like a typical thief. He was just standing there, staring at me. Maybe if I hadn't woken up, he might have tried to steal something and leave. It's hard to say. Break-ins are rare in my country, especially into an apartment with people inside, in the middle of the night. The whole situation was strange, but both my dad and I were fully awake. We still don't want to think about what could have happened if things went differently.
Yeah. You need one coal, and I think it was wood. We could do that.
This story happened to me in 2010 when I was about 14 years old. I used to deliver newspapers, and my route had a shortcut next to our local middle school. This shortcut was a narrow path, not very popular.
Yeah, right click it, you right click it, yeah. You right click it. You can put 4 on it.
Or well lit, but it saved me a good 20 minutes.
It take a couple of minutes, but it's
During
cool.
the summer,
I
using
like
the
how you do
shortcut
it.
was fine. But when autumn and winter came, it would start to get dark around 4 p.m. So I always hurried along this path to reach the brighter Main Street as quickly as possible.
Shit in a
For a
bad
whole
way or
year,
in a good
nothing out
way?
of the ordinary happened, and I didn't really mind the path.
How?
However, one day everything changed. I noticed a man standing at the start of the path. He was tall, thin,
No
with
graphics
no hair,
though.
and his eyes looked
It's
deep and
not.
hollow.
I
It
understand,
made me
but
feel
that's
uneasy.
you
But
gotta
since he didn't
build it, you
speak to
know.
me,
But I don't
I
know.
tried not to worry too much about it.
I pay $7. Okay.
I ran past him
Don't.
to the main road and continued with my deliveries
That's
as
a
I
lot of
always
money,
did.
bro. That's a lot of
A few
buckaroos.
days later, I saw him again.
That's a lot
This
of
time coming out of a
buckaroos right
house
there I
near the
spent.
start of the path. Still, I didn't think much of it and kept going. But after that, I started seeing him everywhere. It didn't matter what time I was out for my paper round, morning or evening. He was always there. It really started to scare me.
Cause like
But I
the
didn't
regular
tell
texture
anyone
pack is
because I
like
thought
when
they
you
might
build
not
it,
take
it's
me
like I
seriously.
don't know. Some blocks I don't like.
Things
I don't
got
know.
worse when one day he started to follow me.
Like
I panicked and ran as fast as I could, and he chased after me. I managed to get to
no,
someone's
the
house.
only thing is
The person
graphic
inside
is the
saw how
sun
scared
and
I
the moon.
was and let me in
Like
to calm
they look
down.
different.
I called my dad, and he came to pick me up. We drove by the man's house, and I pointed it out to my dad.
No, that's only
My
PC.
dad went to the house, knocked on the door, and confronted the man. When the man saw my dad, he ran away.
Okay, give me a second. Let me. Hey, give me 1 second. Let me check. Alright.
He's tall,
If they got
strong,
one
has
like that,
tattoos,
I'm gonna
no
buy it right
hair,
now.
and a
Okay.
beard. He looks pretty scary if you don't know him.
You
My
heard?
dad chased the man up the path where he used to watch me.
Just give me a second. If you try, let me see if I can. Give me a second. Let me see if I can get that. I'm sorry if he was doing something. Cause you want the water moving, right?
But I am forever grateful to my dad for making sure that creepy man never crossed my path again.
I thought that too. I ain't gonna lie. I bought that. I want to know. You talking about it?
I was 13 years
Give me a
old.
second. Let me see if I
So
can
this
find it.
scary thing happened when I was just 8.
Where
It was
is it at?
Halloween,
Where is it at?
the time
Where is
when
it
we all
at?
dress up and go out for candy. Every year, we'd visit my grandma and grandpa's place.
What the hell?
My older cousin, who was 14, would take me and some of my other cousins to ask for treats from the neighbors. It was nighttime, and although it was dark,
Here we
there
go.
were a few
Is this
people
one?
outside.
Shader? It's called
Excited for the
Shader?
fireworks show that
Let
happened
me see.
every
Is this
year.
one before?
We had been
Before I
trick-or-treating
buy
in
it,
this
great.
area every Halloween, so we knew all the streets and houses very well. Everything seemed normal at first, but since I was a bit older now, I wanted to collect even more candy than before.
It says.
So, we decided to explore a new neighborhood we hadn't visited in the past. At the first few houses, everything was fun. We were
It
laughing and
doesn't.
playing around.
It doesn't
My
say
cousin
it
was
is or
pretending to
not.
chase
I
us,
don't
and I
want
ended
to
up
buy
falling
it.
down.
Is this one?
My knees got scraped, and they started bleeding. It looked pretty bad to me, but I was just 8 years old, so maybe I was making a big deal out of it. I decided I needed to go back to my grandparents to get a bandage.
Yeah,
My
it's
cousin
this one.
suggested he would take everyone back with me, but I insisted I could go alone. I didn't want my younger cousins to think I was a baby. Plus, it wasn't too far.
How
But
much
as I
is
was
it?
walking back, turning around a corner,
It's
I saw
$4.
a
I'm
man
gonna get
walking
it.
by himself towards me. He seemed normal enough, not scary, so I wasn't afraid of him at first.
Give me a second, okay?
The feeling in the air changed.
I
The
just
streets that
purchased
were once
it.
familiar to me felt strange
Return,
and
yeah.
unwelcoming. The laughter and chatter from the houses seemed to fade away, leaving behind an eerie silence. I kept walking, trying to shake off the feeling that something wasn't right. The man was getting closer, and as he did, I noticed something odd about the way he moved.
Right here.
It wasn't scary, just different.
Tetra packs.
Suddenly, I realized I was alone on this street. No other trick-or-treaters in sight, no families walking together. Just me and this man walking towards me. I started to walk faster, thinking about how I should have listened and not gone off by myself.
How do you take this one
Fast.
off?
I could almost
How do
hear
you
it
take
in
this
my
one?
ears. The man was now just a few steps away, and I could see his face more clearly. He had a plain look, nothing that would normally scare me, but the way he looked at me made me feel uneasy. It was as if he knew I was alone and scared. I wanted to run, but my legs felt heavy, like they wouldn't listen to me. The closer he got, the more I realized how quiet the neighborhood had become. It was as if everything was holding its breath, waiting to see what would happen next.
Okay, I see now.
I opened my mouth to say something, to ask for help or maybe just to scream, but no sound came out. My
I'm
throat
going
was
on
dry,
right now.
and my words were stuck. The man was almost almost in front of me now, and I could see there was something he wanted to say. He stopped walking when he was right in front of me, so I had to stop too. He asked why I was alone, sounding nice. I explained I was going back to my grandma's house because I hurt my knee while getting candy. He offered to help, saying his place was just down the street. He could fix my knee, and I could go back to getting more candy. I thought it was a good plan because I was worried my parents would be upset if they knew I got hurt playing around. Looking back,
This girl walks by my house every day. I'm about to hit on her.
This shit forever to go on,
You
damn.
look really good, like.
realized I was too trusting. When we got to his house, he gave me a drink and something to cover my knee with. I was sitting on his sofa when he sat too close to me, which made me uncomfortable because he wasn't talking much anymore and acted strangely. Suddenly, he touched my leg and moved his hand around. I got scared, stood up quickly, and tried to run out, but he grabbed my arm tightly. I started to cry and begged him to let me go.
What's going on
Surprisingly,
with this shit,
he
man?
acted nice again, wondering why I was in such a hurry to leave. I didn't know what to do and just froze, feeling stuck. It felt like I was there for a long time because soon I heard my uncle calling for me
Did it
outside.
change?
He must have returned to my grandparents and noticed I wasn't there.
No.
Hearing my name made me realize I had a chance to escape.
It's a regular texture pack.
The man noticed my
Fuck.
reaction and figured out someone was looking for me.
Hey.
This time, when I ran towards the door, he didn't try to
Is it
stop
regular?
me.
Yeah, it's the regular texture pack.
I quickly
No.
told my uncle everything, and we rushed back
You
to
tell
my
me.
grandparents.
I got.
My
You
dad
want me to get
immediately
off of
called
it and
the
do it
police.
again or no? It's up to
I
you.
was too young to understand everything back then, but my parents later told me that the man was
Let me
already
see if I
known to
can
the
do it right
police
here.
because of bad things he had done. I'm so thankful I managed to get away
I can't.
when I did.
Okay, give me one moment. I'm sorry. It said I put it on it. It said I
tell you a
put it on
scary
it. I don't know
story
why
that
it
happened
ain't
to me.
going on it.
It's about how I was followed by a police officer. Let's start from the very beginning because this tale is quite unbelievable. When I was around 18 years old, I had a best friend named Anna. Anna and I were really
There we go.
close,
That should
always
be on.
spending time together.
That shit before I go
One
on.
day, Anna invited me to join her at a church event that lasted all night. I happily agreed. The way this event worked was pretty simple. You arrive in the evening, and you can't leave until the next morning. While I was there, lying on a sleeping bag, a man who knew Anna's family came up to us. He introduced himself as Mike, wearing his
I'm not
police
sure.
uniform. I thought he seemed pretty cool at first.
I'm back on
We had a
it
fun
now.
time during the event, and then it was morning. Time to go home. But after that night, things started to get strange. Mike followed me on all my social media accounts. I found it a bit strange. He would always leave comments on anything I posted, no matter what it was. A few weeks later, things got even weirder. Anna and I went to a dance, and guess who showed up? Mike. He spent the entire evening trying to get my attention in ways that made me uncomfortable. After the dance, I just wanted to get away from him. But my luck ran out when I found out Anna's parents couldn't drive me home. And you won't believe it, but Mike offered to take me home. I was really scared and didn't want to go alone with him, so I asked Anna to come with us. It felt safer that way. During the ride, I ended up sitting next to Mike, and he kept trying to touch my leg.
Okay, now you can
I
join.
pushed his hand away every time,
Oh no. Okay.
just waiting to reach home and escape. After
Whatever.
that night, I felt something was very wrong with Mike, so I stopped responding to his messages and comments.
Oh
But he
yeah.
didn't stop. He began to message me directly, asking why I wasn't answering and even asking me out. Remember, Mike was much older than me. I was just 18 and he was 32. When he asked me out, I decided to block him on everything, hoping that would be the end of it. But it wasn't. A few days after I blocked him, I saw a police car outside my house. Looking out the window, I realized the officer was Mike. From then on, I would often see his car near my house or driving by. He even made new accounts to message me. This went on for weeks. I was really scared and finally told my parents. It was a strange situation because the police are supposed to protect us, but Mike was doing the exact opposite. My parents told me to message him and warn him we'd contact the police if he didn't stop. It felt weird telling a cop we'd call the cops on him, but that's what we did. After I sent him that message, Mike finally stopped bothering me. I never heard from him again until years later, when I saw on the news that he had been arrested for harming another young woman. I just hope he stays in prison and never bothers anyone again.
Let me make another pick.
I am a 25-year-old guy. Last night, I got back home late, which meant all the best parking spots near my apartment were already taken. So I had to park far away and started walking towards my place. There was a thunderstorm brewing. It hadn't started raining yet, so the air felt charged and smelled really good. I decided to take a little detour, walking around my building to approach it from the back. As I turned the corner and headed back towards my apartment, I noticed a man emerging from the parking area between two cars. We exchanged nods, and I slowed down a bit. He started walking in front of me, but also slowed down, trying to match my pace. So I slowed down even more, planning to quickly cut the corner and rush into my apartment. The main entrance was right around the corner, but the man didn't seem to want to move ahead of me, which made me feel uneasy. As we reached the first corner, I sped up. Then I saw him at my apartment door, fiddling with the doorknob. When he saw me, he said, "I can't find my keys." Suddenly, I understood he was lying, and a wave of fear hit me. Instinctively, I knew I shouldn't stop, so I kept walking, giving him a nervous smile. He turned, watching me, and then asked if he could use my phone. I was trapped, panicking inside. He was pretending to live in my apartment to keep me out. My car was too far in the dark, and any quick moves would tip him off that I knew what was up. I lied, saying my phone was dead, my heart pounding, fearing he'd realize I couldn't call for help. I went to the next door and knocked desperately. It was past midnight. The man just stood there, staring as I knocked. Finally, my neighbor Kevin, with whom I'm on good terms.
Damn, she was creepy as hell.
Things I wish I knew before finding an apartment. Let's talk about it. Created a list of must-haves and would like to haves. It would have made the entire apartment hunt.
Opened the door. I blurted out a greeting and hurried inside his place, quickly locking the door behind me. I explained everything to Kevin, who went to grab his gun while I dialed the police. But by the time we looked again, the man had disappeared. Now, I can't walk around my apartment complex without constantly checking over my shoulder, fearing he might return.
Y'all, oh shit.
In the late 2000s,
I had to go do some stuff, y'all,
and at
in real
that time,
life.
I was seeing Mark,
I'll be back
whose
on
mother was
later
Anna
tonight.
Wright. Anna was
If
in a
anything, probably
relationship with a
tomorrow.
man named Eric Marshall. Eric had done